Hey everyone, so the first app I created was a complete and utter disaster. While it did get a bit of media coverage, which was good, the financial benefit, on the other hand, from all of that was not only zero, it was negative. So, as you can see here, I had already recorded this video, but I did want to touch up on a couple of things which are very important if you have an idea for an app you're currently working on. So, my first app was a social networking platform for young entrepreneurs. And without going into too much detail, what it was lacking in was a clear selling point. And this is super important, write it down. My first app had tons of features. In fact, so many features that my users didn't even understand what they needed to do within the app. So the main idea was building a social networking platform kind of similar to LinkedIn, but more modern, specifically aimed towards younger entrepreneurs so they can meet other young entrepreneurs, find mentors, people to collaborate with, and so on. However, here's the one feature. Here we had Duolingo style courses. Here we had a built-in Discord, something similar to it at least. Chatting, making money. We even had something like a forum and so on, all within the same app. The users didn't know what they should do. We had a ranking system, we had experience, we had in-app currency, and so on. And it made it so complex and so feature bloated that the appeal to users was clouded by this fog of various different types of features, seemingly even unrelated. This was the first reason for the downfall of that app. On the other hand, our current project, which is absolutely massive, it has one selling point. It's called Salesy. It provides an AI solution for salespeople to train within. So we provide a chatting feature where you can chat with AI prospects trained on world-class sales data. That's feature one. And it's the single selling point we lead with because the AI we have trained also provides you with customized feedback based off of these sales principles. It tells you what you did good, what you did wrong, and how you could follow up in the future, perhaps. That's the single feature we lead with. We don't even mention the fact that we have the option to upload a real call recording and get it cross-analyzed against professional conversations. We also have Duolingo micro-style courses, which we also practically don't mention because your users have to have one feature, one selling point that they can expect when they open the app. Next up, make it absolutely idiot-proof. The onboarding for my first app was so complex that people got stuck in various different parts of the onboarding. However, in Salesy, it is 3 screens. Your name. It doesn't even have a button. After you click submit, it automatically navigates to the second page. There are 3 components to the entire page. There is a title, there is a form field, and in some cases, there is a back button, and that's absolutely everything. So make it absolutely idiot-proof. If you have an onboarding, make it so simple a 3-year-old can do it and make it absolutely frictionless. And sometimes, if you have to, you can also add a skip feature. If your app doesn't necessitate a clear, let's say, outline of what the user actually is. Third, and this is super important, if you're starting out, you probably don't have that much knowledge on user experience, UI, and so on. Use templates. Go on, for example, dribble.com. It provides you with very, very, very good examples for mobile apps, web apps, whatever you're working on, and just copy what they have. Because at first, you don't know UI principles such as text hierarchy. And with this, your UIs are going to be, first of all, they're not going to be aesthetically pleasing. That's one thing. Like if, for example, you don't have a good color scheme, it's going to seem completely irrelevant. Your pages are going to be different, each one, and your text is not going to have hierarchy, so your users' eyes aren't going to know where to look. So with this, if you don't know basic UI principles, just copy what other people are doing, look up like modern UI examples and just do that. One thing you should stray away from though are very complex dashboards, because if you look on Dribble, there are going to be aesthetically pleasing various different types of dashboards, which from a UI standpoint are amazing. They are world class, but on the other hand, from a UX standpoint, they're absolutely horrible because they bloat what should be a very simple task with various different types of micro interactions and so on. Fifth point, know when to stop. This goes together very closely with point number 1, but this is more in relation to the fact that your app is never going to be perfect, and it's always much better having perhaps a bit of an incomplete first version than to work on an app for a year and it flopping completely. And this is exactly what happened with my first app. It was called Scholar. It was, from a UI standpoint, it was good, not great, but it was good. From a micro interaction standpoint, and it had lots of different micro animations and so on, it looked amazing. However, and this is the real kicker, we spent 2 entire years on that godforsaken app. 2 years we spent working on it, and the financial benefit from all of that was nil. So if you have an idea, perhaps you think it's revolutionary. It probably isn't, but even if you think it is, know when to stop. Put out a first MVP and then ask questions later. Because the reality of the fact is that your app is never going to be perfect. And it's better to know that your idea is perhaps a bit incomplete, or you should work on something before you have invested a year into the app. So know this. You absolutely need to keep in mind these points when you release an app. Obviously, I'm not taking into account things like security features, which you probably don't know about if you're just starting out. But if you have what you think is a revolutionary idea for an app, keep these things in mind before you release it. So I hope this helped. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.